This week on Pole House Blackpot Weekend Getaways, the scavenger hunt gets real. Last week, what would have taken the travelers 10 days only took us 1. As we visit Cottonwood River Crossing, Lost Spring Site, and Chisholm Trail Crossing. And we say a big thank you to the Hathaway family for keeping Ralph's Ruts. We have an interesting visit at Fort Dodge, and we get up close with some ruts. And another Leslie favorite, chocolate chip biscuits for breakfast, is on the menu. So stick around.
I think they're done, hon.
And we're off. First stop, Fort Dodge.
Kansas Historic Site, Fort Dodge.
Let's get away from the ship fort, please.
All right, our first stop of the day.
It's a smelly one.
Yeah, we're real close to
Fort Dodge. What's
Dodge,
left of it?
but there's a processing plant, a natural gas.
And I don't know,
People-
it smells like rotten eggs here. There's a picnic table here. I would not suggest eating lunch or any meal here. There's a fountain that ain't going. So this is pretty much a non-stop.
Yeah, but it is. This fort was built in 1865 because at that point they started getting a lot of raids and things from the native Indians, and it's real close to the split off between the north and the south routes, the Cimarron and the mountain trail, which were hit here before too long. But it was opened in 1865, and then it was abandoned in 1882. So there's a few other stone buildings that were built later that are kind of still in the area, but they're not open for public viewing. So,
all right, we're gonna get out of this stinky area.
yep, and head through Dodge City and see what's next as we're heading west.
This was not easy to find.
Well, they're doing road construction. We can look out here. Where we have parked is brand new parking lot, up a hill and down, right down over the hill there is Highway 400, and they're doing some rework on it. So unfortunately,
They've tore down, somebody
part of the monument, you can see here, they've taken down so they can do reconstruction. So we're going to take a short walk back up a little bit more up the hill, and basically what we see here are more wagon ruts, or what they call swales, and
each one of these boardwalks is a swale
that we go over top. So we're going to head up there and check it out. Okay, I'm standing in the middle of one of the boardwalks. If we look out, the sun may be in our eye in the wrong direction, but you can kind of see right out through there off the boardwalk is where one of them goes, and right underneath us, and then right out through there. I'll head up here. As it was muddy and things got rutted up, then of course they would move and then to different spots, and then sometimes if there was a big wagon train, they would get in lines parallel to each other, not just run single file. So you can kind of see this one right through here. sometimes you're gonna have to use your imagination, because over the course of 200 years, things have changed and nature has eroded much of it. Here is the furthest one from the truck. It's kind of neat. You can see it. There's actually two here. This one here, look at the boardwalk. Looking there, it goes straight up. You can see it going right up through there. And you can kind of go up here. This is not as defined. It kind of goes and it humps up, comes right back over through here, and you can see another one there. And then it's a little harder to see as you go heading west across through there. But we're real close to a neat little placard, and I'll read just a little bit. The worst piece of road. For 60 years, this prairie sod was torn by the hooves of mules, oxen, and horses, and compacted by the weight of the heavy freight wagons they pulled. The wagons of the caravan often traveled 4 abreast to avoid dust and to quickly form defensive circles. They moved over these tracks until they became too deep or muddy, creating additional parallel ruts. And then one thing that said at the bottom of the placard that was interesting was that it's best, these ruts are easier seen when the sun's low, but we're not here when the sun's low. It's almost the middle of the day, but it's still pretty cool. This would be a neat place if we had a drone. We could probably go up and look down on them. You can probably see them a lot better than you can here at ground level, but still a neat spot. So I think from here we're going to keep heading west. We're not too far from the Cimarron Cutoff, and we'll get more into that when we get there. Yeah, like I say, it's hard to see. I'm right at the edge of one of these swales or ruts, and you can see it right through there. Comes right down under the boardwalk and then heads right down, all the way down. Keep going down right through there. So yeah, it's kind of hard to see in a way. You kind of have to take a little minute to kind of let your eyes focus, and kind of like trying to find mushrooms.
Yes.
Once you see them, you can kind of pick them out.
I never can see them, so mushrooms. But I can see these.
Yeah.
Well, honey, I think we'd be mighty thirsty if we were waiting to get water here.
Yep.
They said in the book that this was all dried up, but this used to cause lots of troubles. So, anyways, we kind of missed the Santa Fe Trail Crossing Park, which is here. Nice little roadside park. It's not quite lunchtime, so we're going to press onward.
Here's the historic marker for the Santa Fe Trail in Cimarron, which was settled in 1878. It got its name from the starting point at one time of the shorter Cimarron, or the dry route to Santa Fe, also referred to as the southern route sometimes. Here's where the Santa Fe Trail divided. One branch headed directly southwest, and the other, which is kind of close to present US 50, followed the Arkansas River to Bent's Fort, which is of course in Colorado, and then turned south over Raton Pass. Well, this was of course the Cimarron Crossing.
And it's a city park, it looks like.
Yeah, and this is the north edge of the Arkansas River, which is now of course pretty dry, they said.
Well, and they said in the book that it was dry,
Yeah.
but this caused all kinds of troubles to the Santa Fe Trail merchants.
It had a lot more water in it.
And it was hard to cross.
Yeah.
And it was very unpredictable.
Yeah. Now this is interesting. Prior to 43 or something like that, when we crossed the river here heading south, we actually entered in to the country of Mexico.
As soon as we crossed the bridge, we would have been in Mexico.
Yeah. And then after the war, Spanish-American War, it became part of the United States all the way to Santa Fe and clear to the end of New Mexico, current New Mexico. So anyway, the travelers at this would have a very important decision to make. To take the southern route, right, which is the Cimarron route, or the northern route,
which is the mountain
route, and went to Colorado. Now, what would be the advantages, Angel, of taking the northern route?
The mountain route was they had more water. They had better chances at getting replacement parts that were wood, firewood. But disadvantage.
Yeah, or the disadvantages,
getting over the mountains.
Yes, a lot rougher ground.
Yeah. And it was 100 miles longer.
Oh, it's longer. Okay.
So the advantages for going the Cimarron route was one big one. It was 100 miles shorter.
Yeah.
Disadvantages was there were very little water.
Yeah.
We're going to see a change in terrain here very soon. Very little water, no shade to speak of, just very dry.
Yeah. And from what I read, some places later on, by the 40s and the 50s and into the 60s,
the Indians,
they had more chances of Indian raids on the southern Cimarron route. So, okay, we're gonna head south now, across the Arkansas River, and go to our next spot as we're heading west to Santa Fe.
There's the Arkansas River. That sign says Santa Fe Trail, Cimarron Route, crossing here. We are out in the middle of nowhere. What are we trying to find? Wagon Bed Springs near Ulysses, Kansas.
We've gone almost the right amount.
I'd go straight down here and hopefully we don't get stuck. There it is. It says go that way. But there's another sign down here. And a washed out road. Wait a minute, what's that down there?
Right there. Well, we found where we're supposed to go, but it's a big hole, a big roadside ditch that I can barely walk through, let alone drive the truck with a camper behind it. And we go through into the private property. And down this distant gravel, we gotta go through a cradle crossing and through that way somewhere. So, unfortunately, I think we are not going to go that far. But here's the sign that says we were supposed to turn and go a mile back that way.
Okay, don't know if you can see it, but this is a sand road. And that's water across the road. We don't want to be like the wagon train and get stuck. So look at what happened.
The road's not wide enough to turn around, so I'm going to pull up and I'll back up to that gateway.
It's an adventure, Leslie says. I tell you, that booklet could have been a little bit better about travel at your own risk. And look, somebody else has done the same thing we've done. Oh boy. Somebody else has done this.
Yeah.
Same thing. Okay. Will that get you around?
That'll get us around.
Okay, I'm getting back in. What do you call this?
An adventure. That's kind of what this is.
Quite the scavenger hunt.
Yep.
Oh, Lord. Well, I think we're off and running. All right, we'll see you at the next stop.
Okay, we have just turned off for the main highway, and this says we're on a forestry road, and it says 2 miles to Middle Spring, and then 3 miles to Point of Rocks. Now, Point of Rocks is supposed to be hopefully easy identified, that when the travelers came to that, then that Middle Spring should be close by,
Yes.
because Middle Spring was a very reliable
Year-round source of water.
Yeah, so we'll see what we come up with.
We're in rattlesnake country.
Yeah, Leslie's right. It says in big bold letters, beware of rattlesnakes. Watch where you're walking. I bet this is a swale right here. Look at it.
Another interesting fact, we just crossed the Cimarron River, and that's one of the, I guess the main reason why they named this a Cimarron route is that it pretty much followed the Cimarron River all the way down here, down in through Oklahoma and into New Mexico, to Santa Fe.
Now we're truly into scavenger hunt mode. Oh, hey, there's picnic tables out here. This is Middle Spring.
It looks like they were right, Iris. Snuff. Because it has water in it still.
Okay, Point of Rocks. Let the traveler know on the Santa Fe Trail where a good place to have water was.
Point of Rocks. It's kind of a neat bluff, actually, above the Cimarron River Valley. They said big part of the year that Cimarron River would have been dry. So if you look down, I'm going to show you down in there where all the trees are somewhere is kind of the dry riverbed. Runs all the way right back up through there. So we can turn it around this way. You can kind of see, go on the top side of here. There's some of these soft limestone bluffs. Stand out pretty good. There's even, look right here, there's even someone has made a little rock trail down to the bottom.
Okay, I don't know if you can see it, but right there is a little stone marker. That indicates where a swale, which is where a wagon rut would have been. You can see it, it's indented.
Back into Elkhart, the town, about 8 miles south of where we were just at previously, up on the mountain rocks, point of rocks, excuse me. And unfortunately, because like a lot of museums seems like we come across, this Morton County Museum is closed on Sundays and Mondays. So get you a quick little view outside and head on south and west, of course. This is basically the last stop before we get into Oklahoma. All right, our stop for the night is actually in the northeast corner of New Mexico. If you can see it or not, right there, Clayton Lake State Park and Dinosaur Trackways. This was established in 1967. Now pull forward here a little bit. We got to go downhill pretty good. At the bottom of that hill you can see beautiful lake. Well, we've come to the back side of the lake here at Clayton Lake State Park. Beautiful spot. We're clear back here on one that is non-reservable since we didn't make reservations. And now that we're here, we have no cell service and we can't make reservations. So we came back here, kind of a off-roading almost. It's gonna remind us a bit like when we get the BLM lane in New Mexico, up in Colorado down there. But we backed up here on a almost level with lots of rocks and stuff. So this is gonna be pretty cool. It's been a good rain, so we got some mud around, but where we're standing here out the back is perfectly rock. So this is gonna be pretty neat.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
Beautiful, and it's like, what, upper 50s?
Hey,
they have jackets
go get
on.
Joey.
Hey, you two. Iris and Joey. They're feeling frisky since they've been cooped up in the truck half the day. On the backside here, I don't know if this is part of the lake or what, but it's still pretty cool. Because over, still have a little, it's a no burn because it's dry, even though we had good rain recently. So they got where we can have no open fires. I think that's statewide. But over top, down over the hill, over there, you can kind of, may or may not see it, is the lake itself. So, cut back at the tail end of this little road. So there, right now, there's only 2 spots here. Us and then one back over here, but there's nobody at that one right now. So, with it being early in the middle of the week, it probably won't be anybody else here by now because it's about 7 o'clock.
No, Joey.
Mountain time. So, alrighty. We're gonna do a little bit more setting up, and we may be signing off for tonight, and we'll probably see you tomorrow. Well, good morning. It's bright and early here at Clayton Lake State Park in New Mexico. Ours has been noisy. She's on Central Standard Time still instead of on Mountain Time. So she got me up about 5:30 this morning. Now she's got the zoomies, her regular time, so she's getting kind of noisy, so I had to get up. Beautiful morning here at the state park. See a little view from sitting here at the picnic table. Hi, let's say good morning. Yeah, you're being noisy. As where our camper set up, and beautiful view to the south and to the east. So we gotta gonna let everybody sleep in a little bit for a while this morning. As soon as they get stirring, we're gonna probably cook us up some good breakfast. We haven't done much breakfast cooking on the last couple mornings. First 3 mornings we just did cereal and stuff like that, and had our own fresh pressed coffee. We're gonna do something different this morning. I think we're gonna cook some homemade biscuits and to go along with some eggs. So, as soon as they get up, we'll get back to it. Well, Angel made it out of bed. She kind of slept in a little bit more because she had a rough night, just didn't sleep too good. You get them every once in a while, don't you?
Well, usually it's the first night, not the fourth or third night.
Yeah.
So,
It's still beautiful.
this is such a gorgeous campground.
Beautiful campground.
You picked good, honey.
Yeah.
You picked good. This is going to be one of the most memorable campgrounds we've ever been in.
It is nice. So we're gonna go ahead and.
It's cool.
Yes, nice. Got jackets on. Yeah.
You'd think desert-ish area would be hotter than hinges,
You're
but
not near
it's
as hot as back in Missouri, that's for
No,
sure.
there it's 90 degrees there.
Yeah, it was yesterday. But yeah, it's great. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna fix
Another Leslie favorite.
yeah. And I talked about it earlier before everybody else got up, and then we're gonna do some chocolate chip biscuits. So it's a homemade variation of the basic biscuit that we made clear back when we did biscuits and gravy back at Robertsville. And then we've also done 2 more variations of that.
We did chocolate or...
No, we did apple cinnamon.
Yeah, and we did garlic cheese.
And we did garlic cheese. And we'll link them, so if you want those recipes also, they're real similar basic start. So we're gonna go ahead and get them started, and we'll be right back. Okay, as usual, we made a premix. Really handy. And Angel made it up before we left. Start this said right on there, chocolate chip biscuits. And she also put the liquid ingredients that we need, just in case. We've got them written down, but it's kind of nice to have them right on the bag. So I'm going to put it right here.
Well, we have them written down in our phones, but we need internet to use it. We use any list for our recipes.
Okay, now make sure it's all the dry ingredients is basically like our normal biscuit mix: our flour, salt, and baking powder. So now, and it also has our standard oil. This would be a half a cup. We're doing a 3 cups of flour biscuit recipe. So we have a half a cup of oil, a cup of milk. We just put them all in the same pot. Ain't gonna hurt anything. Same measuring cup. Okay. And before I get that, I'm also going to add to this liquid. And I'm also going to eyeball it, but that's close enough. Some vanilla. About a teaspoon. Won't hurt to have a little bit extra vanilla. Okay.
Yes, we have a supervisor.
Oh, I forgot. Before I did that, I was going to mix in my chocolate chips one time. They kind of mix together, stay mixed in instead of set on the bottom. So this is about a cup of chocolate chips. And we're using, I think, semi-sweet. Mix them into our dry mixture. I'm going to make a mess. I'm going to wear it. Okay, that's good. Add our liquid ingredients. Iris is putting her 2 cents in again.
Always, that's her breed. They like to talk.
Yeah, she likes to talk. Get this mixed up. The sun's warming up. I'm going to shed this jacket here in a second. Now, one thing, like any biscuit, as soon as it comes together, stop stirring, because you'll get a tough biscuit if you overmix. And as simple as that, because Angel made that pre-mix ahead of time, that's just as simple as buying some powdered mix and making it. Alright, that's it. Okay, now, next step. Get this out of the way. We're going to use a 12-inch Dutch oven, 12-inch recipe. Yeah, you can roll them out, kind of pat them out, and cut them round, but we're doing it cheap. We'll put just a little bit of spray, because this is a sweeter chocolate chips, and we make sure they don't stick.
Alright. This is just getting hot.
And I'm going to dump this out. Okay. Spread them out into the bottom. Kind of pat them down. Now, wipe my hands a little bit. And then we're just going to pat them down. All there is to it. Makes it a lot easier than flattening them out, cutting them, and all that. Maybe not as bright as pretty. Taste this is good. Okay, now to make them easier to serve later, if I can find it, I'm going to grab a little plastic spatula right where I wanted it, and we'll kind of just score these, and they'll serve so much easier. Okay, there, Angel, all scored. So all we gotta do now is get our charcoal ready and get these baked, and we'll have a sweet treat for breakfast. We'll be back. Okay, we have charcoal going. Charcoals are almost ready, and we put our coffee water on top to get it ready. Save some energy. So I gotta get this off first. Great. Wait a minute. Iris, that's it up, baby. All right. Put this on. Iris is being annoying. Okay, I'm gonna pull this out of the way long enough we can see what's going on. A little bit of breeze, so we got to put it back on to bake.
Yeah, very quickly.
Okay, so we'll put this charcoal here. 12-inch Dutch oven, 30 pieces of charcoal. That'll give us our about 375 of it. And we're going to put our basic tin on the bottom. Okay, now get this guard back on for a second. You don't get ashes anywhere. This is a pretty dry climate, so no open fires. Fire pits are covered up, so here we go. All right. That looks like it. We'll give them a 10-minute, rotate it 10 minutes. We'll be back.
Drop it. No.
All right, it's been 30 minutes. Should be done.
Yeah, they're
You done? All right, good.
Well, we're gonna get to eating.
Did you know that you can also use the lid when you get done baking? Flip it over. Use your leftover charcoal on the bottom of the table. Use your little lid stand, and you can fry your eggs while your biscuits are resting. Talk about a conservation of heat. We made our coffee with it before they were baking. We baked our biscuits, and now we're cooking our eggs all in the same 30 pieces of charcoal.
Well, that about does it for this weekend getaways. We hope you love our little scavenger hunt. And thank you for watching. Don't forget to like with a thumbs up, subscribe, and share us on Facebook and Instagram. See you next week.